Again, looking at parking, we are seeing some trends towards these lower requirements. So in Toronto, they've been looking at how the car share programs that are sort of becoming a thing in many cities will actually change the need for parking standards and how parking standards might need to be reduced. When I was working there, there was actually a number. If you put in a car share space in the garage of your proposed building, you would be able to take away a certain number of normal residential parking spaces, on the understanding that people in the building, instead of owning cars, would instead share the car in the garage. At one stage, I think it was 1 to 10, so you'd get to have 10 less parking spaces than the if you put in a shared car. And then, from my memory, it reduced to much lower, 1 to 4, 1 to 3. But again, these things are always up for argument and review, and you see many reports being done as to how these things are changing things, and of course, much research. And then, of course, we've seen the same thing with bike share as well. Bike share, is that a replacement for car parking? Particularly relevant when you are taking away parking spaces to provide bike share, although that, of course, is more relevant when you're doing it on the street itself rather than within a proposed development. And then I suppose looking more generally at some of the trends we're seeing both in parking and also in traffic impact statements and assessments more generally. The idea of travel plans have been around for quite a while now. And Chris DeGruda, who used to be at Monash University as part of ITS, but is now at RMIT, he did his PhD thesis looking in quite detail at how travel plans might actually change the way people go to and from buildings, and how much parking is going to be needed. So the idea of a travel plan is basically that when someone moves into a new building, they receive a pack or some form of training or some sort of incentive program. So maybe as part of buying a new unit, or of getting a new lease and moving into a rental building, you are provided with free transit for a year, or you have free membership of the bicycle share program, or free membership of the car share program, or you get this lovely pack with a whole series of maps that show you where all the bike shares are, or there's an annual event that shows everybody how to use the train station that's just around the corner. And the idea is that through encouragement and also through having a plan as to how the various bits fit together, so how your reductions in parking, your provision of bicycle share and bicycle parking, how that, together with an encouragement program, will lead to your new residential development having a lower requirement for parking, generating less car traffic, etc., etc. And fundamentally, this is further evidence of how your proposed development will be reasonable. And that's sort of where it all comes from. So that's sort of the end of this section on making an argument and future trends, and we'll just move on now to a summary.